I'm live. Wow. I am live, which is very scary on one hand, very bold on another hand. And that's okay. And I decided to go live because I think it's important to try this, to be here, to be open and honest and vulnerable, you know. I'm healing from being with someone who is high on narcissism. And when you deal with somebody like that, like recovery, hey, thank you. Recovery from that is the strangest feeling you know, to make a decision not to be with someone, to have a ring on your finger. So I'm wearing my ring. I guess this needs to be mirrored because I was engaged, but I put the ring on my right finger, right hand, and that was a first step, right, to switch how things just looked for me. And the interesting thing about when you have been and I hate to use the word victim, but you do feel like a victim. But so when you've been a victim, you know, of narcissism, I'm kind of like learning like that. It's like this process, right? Sorry about that. It's this process of learning to be okay with yourself after you break up with a narcissist, right? And then how do you kind of go through life in a different way? When I was with this person, I'm going to tell you a little story. The first time I went to his house, his apartment, after flying from the UK, he had this shotgun. He has a shotgun in his bedroom, and I just thought it was really strange that you're bringing a woman to your apartment and you've got your shotgun leaning against the wall. So like the first thing I see when I go into his bedroom is the shotgun, and then by the side of the bed there's bullets. And I remember just thinking, like, why wouldn't he put that away? And it really bothered me. And what was really strange is that I didn't really kind of ask. I did say, "Oh, I must have said you have a gun, like why or something." He said that, during COVID, he was thinking that, somebody might actually, thank you for that thumbs up. He was thinking, shit was going to hit the fan and things was going to go kind of crazy and stuff. But I just kept thinking, why have the shotgun out? I've flown in from the UK, right? And even though the shotgun was dusty, it was still there. And I'm going to tell you what it did. It created this fear inside of me. It created this, am I actually safe? Now, why didn't I freaking just think I'm not dealing with this person again? Because I was love bombed. Man, I was loved bombed so much. I mean, this guy, he's very charismatic and just looks great on paper and shows up to the world beautifully, right? We had that gun, and I never fully felt safe. Even though, and this is the trippy thing, even though he never pulled the gun on me, it was never anything that I would have felt like I should really be worried about. But it was the fact that he had it there and he didn't even think about, putting it away. And I was talking to someone last night and I said, what do you think that was? I'm going to tell you what it's left me with. It's left me feeling, because I really cut it off on Sunday. I just told him, sling his hook. But it's left me feeling like, am I safe? Am I even safe now? And which is, on one hand, is strange because, like I said, he never made it seem like he would ever physically harm me, but it was, my friend she said to me last night, she said, she's a gun carrier. She would never have a gun just sitting out, and nor would she expect someone she's dating to have a gun just displayed, just out. And now here I am. I've been broken up with this guy. I almost fell back into it, but he was toying with me, making it seem like everything was my fault. The reason why we weren't together was my fault. And you know what? I started to believe that. I really did. I believed it. I really believed that if I could just change me, if I could just not have such expectations, if I could have much more empathy and feel for him and all of his background and everything, then I would probably be a better partner, that we could probably get back together. But narcissists are so good at manipulating the story. The story gets turned around on you, right? You're the bad person, right? So I was the bad person, unless I was praising him. He'd send me photos of him doing his public speaking and all of this stuff. And it was just so interesting. Oh my gosh. It was always about him, the images. It was always just, that's what it was. And if I made him feel good about himself, then everything was nice. He was nice. But if he felt threatened by what I was doing, then he would just turn cold and he would just freeze me out. And at the time, I didn't know what was going on, and so I just was just trying to be that better woman, Oh, how, cut brothers slack. Brothers have gone through some stuff. Cut a brother slack. But my gut told me, he was a narcissist. And it really told me last year. And I was making content on narcissism and more like looking at the workplace. And I'm still doing that. But I realized that I still have some healing to deal with. But like, if you go back to him having that rifle in the house, in the bedroom, I really feel like it was manipulation. Because I just can't understand why he would have that out, knowing for the first time I'd come there. And then it just stayed out. When I was back in London, where I've lived for 30 years, I was back in London. He had, I gotten upset with him. We put this ring on my finger, and I gotten upset with him about something. And I got a bit fiery on the phone. I was kind of like, very kind of upset. You know how we can be. Women can be very emotional, and I was emotional. And one of the things he said to me was, how you came across. He was like, if you was here, I don't know what would have happened. If this was back in the day, I don't know what would have happened. And I let that go over my head. I let that go. I let this idea of what he said, if you were here, I don't know what would have happened. That was a psychological threat. And then again, I found myself feeling bad and blaming myself for it. And then I switched, trying to be what he needed me to be, or what I thought was better, so could make things okay, can make things safe, and he and I think he knew that. And then he worked with that. And then there were other moments of just freezing me out. One day we went to the car I said, hey, take me, let's stop at Starbucks. And I was thinking, oh my God, like his energy is so, it was, it was overpowering. It was overpowering and it felt threatening. The energy, right, felt threatening. And then we pulled into the drive-through at the Starbucks and he just went like this, like give me your phone so you can pay. And I did, because it threw me. It was, and I couldn't even I just didn't even know. I couldn't even kind of respond other than like, damn, you know? And then I just started walking on eggshells. I thought just be nicer, be your best self, be smiley and everything. Just keep smiling, do all that, and and he'll everything will be safe, But it wasn't. It wasn't, And so I'm talking about this because I think it's important to understand from the person that has gone through it, the that is just so painful because you keep trying to be yourself, be different for them, but not yourself. And then, I'm looking at, or my head would run away with me. And I would be thinking, well, is he really nuts? You know what I mean? Could he do something to me? Because when you begin to walk on eggshells, you are in a place of fear. You're psychologically not safe. And I didn't feel psychologically safe. I really didn't. I didn't feel safe. And even now, today, I don't feel safe. And I'm in a safe building. We've got concierge downstairs. You can't just get on the elevator and come up to where I live. Like it is properly done right. I locked my door. And I still, even this morning, I was going to the gym. I opened the door, and part of me felt like, is he going to be outside the door? And that's messed up, man. And the thing is, with the narcissist, right, or these people are high on narcissism, he'd probably think I'm crazy. He'd probably tell me, I never made her feel any kind of way. I never did that. She was the one who broke up with me. And he would do that. I know he would do that, and because when these people are so charismatic and people love them, it's like they'll be looking at me like something's wrong with her if she couldn't keep a man at that status, and that's messed up, and so I didn't tell people for months. I haven't told people for months. A lot of people don't know on my social. I kind of seemed to slightly disappear from my socials as I was working through depression, and then I got here, and then I almost got back with him, and then I had shame for almost getting back with him, and it's just been like it's not been easy. It's not. I'm not going to sit here and say like leaving somebody that you believe that they were a certain kind of way is easy, but they've shown you that they're not. Yet you still hope. There's this little hope inside of you that like, okay, well, they went through that. Maybe they're really a good person. Maybe they're going to change. Maybe they're going to see, and then you realize they're just not. That's because when people are, messed up on a psychological level, you're not going to get any change, and I didn't. Every time I brought something up, I was gaslit. Every time. Never acknowledged anything, nothing. And even when I got here, it was all about how he felt, how I had broken up with him and he was vulnerable. So weird, man. So I decided to go live, and I'll probably keep coming live as I work through this, as I work through how I feel and how work through this. So I'll just keep coming on here, and whoever listens, that's cool. I appreciate you for being here. You know, put me in your prayers. You know, my work is good. All of the stuff at work is going very well. I'm helping people release themselves from narcissistic bosses, because don't forget, narcissistic people are also bosses in organizations. And it's my quest to help others, free themselves. Because I think that's important. We need each other. We need community. And I think that's so important. Yeah. Anyways, I'm going to go. I appreciate you being here, and whoever watches this later, I appreciate that. And I'll keep coming on here. So keep coming back. I see you soon. Who is that? Lovejoy. Thank you for sharing your experience, Lovejoy. I'm going to cry. Thank you, girl. You just want a little peace. I don't want to go to my front door scared to open my front door. And again, for others, it would seem like, well, he never presented himself like that. But I think in some way he did, not in such, I think, I know, because how I'm feeling is real. You know what I mean? And I know I'm going to feel better. And as I keep coming here and keep helping people break free mentally, it's now it's the mental healing. It was my heart, but now it's the mental, like you're safe. I'm safe, And the sad thing is, if he ever knew I felt like that, he wouldn't care. He would deny it if he had anything to do with it, So I'll keep coming here. So thank you. I really appreciate you. I really do. And we're going to have a good weekend. So have a good weekend, girl. And, and I'll see you next time. Okay. Bye-bye.